From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight, Alaska State Troopers are investigating a cabin fire on the Elliott Highway that left one person dead.
Now, according to a release, the fire occurred shortly before 10 p.m. on December 1st. Both the fire marshal and troopers responded to the cabin located near mile 49 of the Elliott Highway.
The cabin was destroyed by the fire and troopers found what they believe to be human remains in the ashes.
Now, the remains are being sent to the state medical examiner's office for positive identification, but they are believed to be those of the cabin owner, 71-year-old Larry Dodge of Fairbanks.
Now, an investigation into the cause of the fire is ongoing.
And in other news this evening, President Obama met with newly elected governors at the White House today. 7 incoming governors, including Alaska's Bill Walker, gathered in the Oval Office to discuss federal and state cooperation on issues ranging from education and transportation to health care. The group included 3 incoming Republican governors who defeated Democrats. During the meeting, the president showed a report out today that shows substantial jobs growth in the recent days.
What we want to make sure is that government is not an impediment, but is instead an accelerant of that kind of job growth, and I know that all the governors here feel the same way.
The first session of the 29th Alaska Legislature convenes January 20th in Juneau. Local entities are putting their wish lists forward prior to what is forecast to be a lean session on the spending side. Fairbanks North Star Borough Mayor Luke Hopkins laid out legislative priorities and capital project requests to the Interior delegation last evening. Top needs include funding for the wood stove exchange program, an ambulance replacement, and the construction of ground-level public restrooms at the Pioneer Park Centennial Center. Funding the final renovation of the Barnett Magnet School topped the school's want list, while a bike path from North Pole to Selcha is the borough's top community priority. With oil hovering around $70 a barrel, state legislatures are not optimistic about meeting the wants and needs laid before them.
Staring down a very austere time right now, so we want to hear it, but we have to be kind of realistic. If we're not going to be able to perform all of it, what is the most important things to do?
It's a challenging task. Every city, every borough, every municipality is coming up with similar lists. We now have the backing of this borough and the assembly in order to say these are the community priorities.
Public comment on new air quality control measures put forward by the Alaska Department of Conservation closes December 19th. These new regulations affect how residents in non-attainment areas use wood to heat their homes. But as Jamie Schwartzwald reports, the new regs also affect those who sell firewood.
You can find Wayne Hunter and his crew of woodcutters felling, skidding, and loading green birch trees destined for customers who heat their homes and structures with wood.
We sell only the freshest, greenest birch firewood.
You heard Wayne the woodcutter correctly. He markets and sells his products as green firewood. Under proposed regulations of the FNSB PM 2.5 state implementation plan, commercial wood sellers will be required to disclose the moisture content of their wood to customers upon delivery. A DEC Air Quality Program Manager Cindy Heil says the commercial wood seller registration program is a contingency measure for non-attainment areas and not a ban on selling green firewood.
Wood sellers can still sell dry or wet. All they would be required to do as this contingency measure is to record that, measure it, record it, and give documentation to their buyers.
Hunter, who delivers his green wood in 5-cord packages, says a majority of his customer base burns responsibly, adding that the wood he delivers is meant to be seasoned on site and used during subsequent winters.
I think there are a lot of people that are burning smarter than they have in the past.
Under the proposed regulations, Hunter will be required to use a DEC-approved moisture meter, have his customers sign off on the moisture disclosure, and file reports with DEC. He says it will add about an hour to each delivery.
You know, when I bring a load of wood to somebody, they already know that it's green, and it seems sort of redundant to take 15 of those logs off that truck and cut them all in half and stick a moisture meter in all of them when I've already told them that it's green.
Hunter plans to submit a written comment on the proposed regulations. Jamie Schwartzwald reporting.
That was a lot of wood.
That was a lot of wood. All right.
Interesting.
When we come back, there were 3 accidents today on the frosty roads around town. Now, fortunately, there were no major injuries, but we'll have the story.
Also, the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital was the scene of a bazaar that will help breast cancer patients in the community. Stay with us.
Welcome back. A New Mexico man is jailed in Fairbanks facing 12 charges related to an alleged credit card theft from a tour company. 35-year-old Justin Chavez is charged with 6 counts of fraudulent use of a device, felony theft, as well as additional charges of misdemeanor theft. An affidavit states Chavez, who was a pilot for the Northern Alaska Tour Company, stole a credit card from their accounting department and used the card 6 different times. The investigating officer spoke to Chavez, who said he felt the company owed him something because he wasn't properly paid while employed as the chief pilot. Chavez was caught on surveillance camera using the credit card at Fred Meyer's. Now, he also reportedly made purchases at Walmart and Sportsman's Warehouse totaling nearly $900.
Fairbanks police were busy this afternoon with multiple car accidents due to slippery driving conditions. Police say within a short time span, 3 different accidents occurred between College Road and Danby Road, including a vehicle versus pedestrian collision. Another accident closed down a lane of the Johansson Expressway after a motorist struck a state vehicle and spun out of control. No injuries were reported in any of the accidents, but 2 of the vehicles sustained damage. Police continue to urge drivers to use caution.
A couple vehicles get out of control on the Johansson here, and one struck a state vehicle that was parked on the side of the road, the other hit the snowbank. Basically, the road conditions with the temperatures coming up are extremely icy. Please slow down, take your time, and be very safe.
Each year, a number of businesses are recognized by the Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce for their community involvement. Tonight, we take a look at another one of the finalists, Last Frontier Media Active. The small company consists of 6 radio stations, 4 FM and 2 AM stations with local DJs. The Chamber says they were impressed with the $200,000 worth of public service announcements they've donated this year. The stations also allowed businesses that were affected by heavy road construction free ad time on the stations. Operations Manager Glenn Anderson says he's proud of the support they give to nonprofits, and he believes that being a small localized organization allows them to reach out more.
Blessed to be able to have a lot of local on-air personalities, and in this day and age of syndication, satellite, and formatics, you don't see a lot of that anymore. So it gives us the ability to go out in the public and do some of these things, like Bowl for Kids' Sake. The Junior Funny Fest, I think, is one of my favorites because it really lets kids excel. Our canned food drives. We just like helping out and being part of the community other than just a radio station.
The Circle of Hope campaign is a project of the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital Foundation, created to continue research and education regarding breast cancer detection and treatment. Today, the hospital was the site for a mini bazaar with 15 vendors selling their items. A portion of the sales will go to the project. Today's event, labeled as a Wrap of Hope, had proceeds going toward purchasing new advanced technological equipment that will help many local women in their fight against breast cancer. The turnout was reported to be excellent, and officials say it's the first step toward obtaining the equipment.
Wrap of Hope is a holiday bazaar that helps benefit the Circle of Hope, the breast cancer program here at Fairbanks Memorial Hospital. It's an opportunity for employees and patients and even visitors to the hospital and the community to come and do a little shopping.
And so we decided to focus in on an effort to really bring attention to breast cancer and to see what we could do to make an impact on the survivorship of our breast cancer patients. And part of that is a campaign of education as well as raising money and awareness about breast cancer in the community.
I'm just so jolly that Joe's on the desk. I couldn't hide my Christmas spirit with the Santa hat.
Ho, 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 it's
Joe.
All right, that was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty clever. They're getting better. They're getting better. Well, up next in sports, we got results from a number of interior teams that are on the road this week. They're doing pretty well. Plus, a local football player wins a prestigious award for Alaska. All that and more, including the play of the week after the break.
Joe.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here, getting another weekend started right with your local sports this Friday. The Alaska women's basketball team set out to make a good impression in their first ever televised game on Thursday. Unfortunately, the Nanas couldn't find the shooting touch against number 23 Seattle Pacific in a 47-75 loss to the Falcons. UAF shot 27% with 16 made field goals and went 2 of 18 from three-point range. But they did force 16 turnovers. Susanna Olsen led the 6-0 Falcons with the game-high 22 points on a hot 10 for 12 shooting. Jordan Wilson paced the Nooks with 16 points and 6 rebounds. What could be a bigger blow is the knee injury reserve guard Victoria Milton suffered at the end of the game as she limped off the floor. The Nanooks are now 6-3 on the year, and they will play Montana State Billings on Saturday. The men's basketball team couldn't get a win in their road conference opener either. UAF was upended 62-67 by the Western Oregon Wolves. Alaska was up 37-27 at the half. The Wolves bounced back, outscoring UAF by 15 in the second half, holding the Nanooks to 25 points. The Nooks took only 4 free throw shots compared to Western's 13. Andy Avgi led the Wolves with a game-high 26 points on 10 of 14 shooting. Ashton Edwards led the Nooks with 19 points. Alaska is 2-4 overall. 0-1 in the conference, but they will play St. Martin's on Saturday. The Fairbanks Itogs recorded their 7th road win of the season on Thursday night. Fairbanks won 4-3 over the Wenatchee Wild for their 3rd straight victory. The Ice Dogs weathered a 3-goal second period from the Wild, and Robin Carlson scored what would be the game winner at the 4:20 mark of the 3rd period. Jacob Hetz led all skaters with 3 points for the Ice Dogs. Goalie Patrick Munson improves to 14-3 on the year. Fairbanks will have a chance to clinch the series tonight, the Game 3 series in Wenatchee. Owlson's Anthony Griffith, one of the all-time best running backs in Alaska football history, received the Gatorade Alaska Football Player of the Year award. Griffith joins Owlson's Travis Hill and Mike Leonard as previous state winners of that award. Griffith was this year's Small Schools Offensive Player of the Year. This season, he ran for 2,226 rushing yards and 32 touchdowns, and he averaged 14.3 yards per carry. Griffith set the state rushing record with 516 yards in a single game against Nikiski. Allison went on to go undefeated 9-0 and win this year's state title. The senior back will also play in the National Underclassmen All-American game on December 30th in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Today was the opening day of the MAC Rifle Championships at the E.F. Horton Rifle Range. Hutchinson, Delta, Tok, Lathrop, West Valley, and North Pole rifle teams shot their rounds in the Patty Center this afternoon. The high school shooters will shoot 60 shots of small bore, 20 in a kneel position, 20 standing up, and 20 in the prone position. They will also shoot 60 shots in standing air rifle. There are 3 lines of shooters each day, and in this line, which included Lathrop, West Valley, and Delta shooters, Andrew Akola sported his Skittles eye patch, looking for a sweet score for North Pole. Hutchinson will try to three-peat in small bore, while Lathrop will try to win back-to-back air titles and potentially sweep this year's championships. The finals begin at 10 a.m. tomorrow at the Patty Center. Mid-Alaska hockey teams continue their Anchorage tour. Thursday night, North Pole won 2-1 over East Anchorage. James Lasloffley scored the game winner for the Patriots with 15 seconds left in the game. Jason Donald also scored, and McCoy Walker made 16 saves for North Pole. The West Valley Wolfpack, they scored a lot in an 8-5 victory over Chugiak. They led 7-1 going to the 3rd, and they will hold on for the win. Gabe Rankin had a hat trick and a helper, while Tyler Gale scored a goal, and he had 2 assists for the Pack. The Malamutes lost 4-1 to Eagle River on Thursday. Josh Clifton had the lone score for Lathrop. The Malamutes will play Juneau tonight and Saturday. North Pole faces West tonight, and they will go on to play Chugiak on Saturday. West Valley plays East tonight, and they'll wrap up their road trip against West on Saturday. A pretty light weekend for local sports events. Starting at 9 a.m. is day 2 of the Nally Conference Wrestling Championships. Finals begin at 11 a.m. at Hutchinson High School. Also at 11 a.m. is the second town series of cross-country skiing up at Birch Hill. First shots are at 10 a.m. on Saturday at the E.F. Horton Rifle Range. In the final day of the MAC Rifle Championships, the award ceremony is going to be at 5 o'clock. And get your snowshoes at 12:30. The Heart of Darkness Snowshoe Race begins at the end of Ski Boot Hill. It's a 2-mile or a 4-mile race, and that's free. And for the evening runners, you can participate in the 4-mile full moon run at the Patty Center that starts at 5:45 on Saturday. You voted, and now we reveal this week's Play of the Week. The top play is from Davis Jones, the sophomore netminder of the UAF hockey team, made 18 saves last Friday night, actually, against the 19th-ranked Northern Michigan Wildcats. Those 18 saves came in a 3-0 victory for the Nanooks. For Jones, it was his second shutout of this season. Those 2 no-nos are the first of his career. To pick the next Play of the Week, tune in on Mondays for the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays during the Weekend Recap. And that's a wrap for sports. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Time to take a look at the weather. Mike Schultz with you once again, and we're looking at chilly weather this weekend. In fact, it could be really chilly because we're going to also throw in a little wind, which will make things really interesting. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Taking a look at our photograph for tonight, this one's sent in by Shirley Gum. A nice shot of the Alaska Range right there in the distance. A very good photograph and a nice color structure there with the different kinds of clouds. And as always, if you have a photograph you want to share with us, by all means send it to photos@ktvf11.com and we will share it with the rest of the audience. Here's your numbers for today. 6 below for the high, 9 below currently, low last night 9 degrees below zero. Record high 52, 1934, record low 53 below in 1935. Sunrise and sunset about 4 hours and 22 minutes of daylight, a loss of 4 minutes from yesterday. And we have one note to pass along, bad driving conditions at the higher elevations. There's a lot of gusty winds that are causing blowing and drifting and reducing the visibilities. So if you're heading out of town, keep that in mind that there are going to be some winds at the higher elevations. It's all being caused by a couple of things. One, there's an area of low pressure sitting down the Gulf of Alaska. There's also high pressure moving in. The two of them are working against each other and causing the winds to gust in from the northeast, and they're going to be with us for the next couple of days the way it looks right now. What else is going on across the state? Over southeast Alaska, once again the rain has returned. In fact, a little rain and snow around the Juneau area. Ketchikan raining in 36. Not too bad in Anchorage, although kind of chilly, 23 degrees there. Kodiak region, looking at more showery conditions along the Aleutian chain. Cloudy skies up and down the west coast. Same old thing for them, clear to partly cloudy skies. Clouds and kind of chilly at Barrow, 8 degrees below zero there. And cloudy skies at Fort Yukon at 1 degree. Lower 48 weather, once again the rain and snow is falling over the western half of the country, especially over the northwest. It's kind of slowed down much on the west coast. Elsewhere we have temperatures not too bad in Denver, 59 degrees. The rains have stopped around the Dallas area. And around the Great Lakes, looking at a little bit of shower activity, more showers moving back in over New York, and a lot of rain being reported around the New Orleans area, right on into the rest of the southeast, and it all shows up pretty good on the satellite and radar. Look at this blob of moisture just kind of moving across slowly, bringing the rain and snow into the New York area, and heavier rain across the deep south, while out to the west. More showers moving across the northern California on up to the Seattle area. And that's going to continue as more rain is expected. And what's happening with this soaking rain is going to be just kind of a lousy weekend for the eastern half of the country. A little mix of rain and snow over the upstate sections of New York and the New England area, and snow around Maine with a lot of rain down to the south. The jet stream looks like it's going to change a little bit. As you can see, it drops down and brings colder air back in across the Great Lakes, and also rises out to the west, which means more rain, but dry and comfortable once again over the west and the southwest, and the drought continues. All right, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Northern sections partly cloudy for Barrow, mostly sunny skies at Nome, and scattered flurries in the Fort Yukon area. Here in the interior, not too bad except for the little gusty winds at times, but flurries are likely for Fairbanks and Delta, and mostly cloudy at Healy. Over southeast Alaska, looking at rain and snow showers at Juneau, as we saw earlier. Scattered showers expected at Ketchikan. While out to the southwest, scattered showers for Cold Bay, rain for Kodiak, and scattered showers and snow for the Bethel area. And if you head down to the Anchorage area, snow showers expected for Anchorage, rain and snow at Homer, and also at Valdez. So kind of a wet and white weekend down there. All right, as far as what's going on in our weather fact for this week, for tonight, finishing off, in 1941, Enosburg, Vermont had the thermometer climb all the way up to 72 degrees. That's pretty darn warm for this time of year. And of course, that was a record breaker. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank. And once again, a reminder, the kids from Nordale will be here with us Monday. All right, once again, it is a Friday night, which means it's time for our Winter Trails Report. The snow we received earlier this week has opened up Moose Mountain and Birch Hill, and we have learned that Skiland will be opening December 27th. Now, the cross-country trails are in great shape, and the snow machiners, you should have some great runs out there, so just be careful and watch where you're going. Northern Sports, Power Sports, and Beaver Sports, thanks for sponsoring our weather, our winter trails report on Fridays. Tonight, 4 degrees below zero, scattered snow flurries. They're out there right now. Tomorrow's forecast, mostly cloudy, isolated flurries and gusty winds. And the 5-day outlook, temperatures are rebounding a little bit. As you can see, 10 degrees on Monday and Sunday, and then they're kind of cooling down once again. Overnight lows will once again be right around the single digits below zero. No snow in the forecast right now, but maybe things might change possibly the middle part of next week.
Okay, we're going to have to take that, Mike, for the weekend. All right, and we have run out of time, so that will do it. From all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great night.
Good night.